This is a best-of-5 series. Our draft now begins. Welcome to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Be fearful of those spiders and those darn web weavers.
Scary, scary stuff. Let's see how this is going to play on out. Now, something that could be another ban here for Dignitas is Tassadar. He still has a lot of power on this map, and Tassadar Tracer is still in the meta currently, but they were looking like they want to go for Tychus. That could mean a heavier warrior frontline, similar to last game.
Tychus is such a pain to deal with on this battleground, especially if you're going for a double warrior composition, because you want to get those engages. So getting rid of Tychus immediately kind of yells to me that Dignitas is maybe wanting to try something up a little bit here, get a couple of warriors in the mix, and try to be the ones that start the initiations, which Tychus is good at stopping.
Something, again, is that Ragnaros is very good on this map. He will deny damage from web weavers. He will be able to nuke those down with the strong AoE damage that he does to the wave and also the web weaver. So we could see that come to play early on in this draft again.
Yeah, with Dignitas actually having first pick, they could take that away. So Misfits taking a little bit of time here thinking about what they would like to ban out. Other things that you could go for is maybe a Malfurion ban, get Bakery to play something a little bit that he hasn't been playing so much in the last couple of weeks. However, it never feels like a Malfurion ban is worth it anymore, right? Compared to what we saw last September, where the root was so quick that you could do a Stitches combo into a root. So Misfits is trying to figure out what they want to maneuver away through. They're going to go ahead and like to go with Diablo. So does Dignitas move into the Ragnaros pick?
Let's find out here in a moment. I mean, they have other options available to them as well. I'm trying to think what they could go. They could lock in the Malfurion if they think Misfits is going to take it away from them. As you said, not quite the ban-worthy, but definitely pick-away worthy, I would say.
And at the same time, Sylvanas is still a threat. Zul occasionally gets brought up in Europe. He's played more in North America, in my opinion. But still, Dignitas does have those moves to go for. They are electing to keep up with the consistent foundation that they really enjoy playing. Malfurion, and heck, why not? It really seems like Bakery, as a team captain, just does such a good job in that hero. And Misfits definitely is valuing the Ragnaros. Now, Tassadar picked up. Hasuav's has been playing Tassadar a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted the Tassadar ban at the first place. You know, transitioning from Game 1 to Game 2. Misfits does like a lot of double supports with that Tassadar in place as well, so they could go very shield heavy actually here. They could pick up something like a Zarya later on down the line. It's great with Particle Grenade to actually deny the turn-ins because it's got so much range and just really out-sustain Team Dignitas.
Yeah, it's something that Misfits has played often for a while. Back in the day, I remember when they were running Sergeant Hammer and Zarya on Battlefield of Eternity, and that was quite a pain to deal with. They just understand how to play around those cooldowns. Now, the good news is Dignitas can get some counters towards that. We've seen Varian already played by Zelia. You do have Shield Breaker available, but you have to wait all the way into the late game if you even get there. So we'll see how that occurs.
I'm just kind of flicking through my notes, and I'm realizing that normally on Misfits, Tassadar and Zarya are played by the same player. Normally it's Hasuobs, so maybe that's not going to become likely a thing. They could still go down like a Leoric path later on, which they do still like here, but Muradin and Li Ming getting picked up for Team Dignitas.
Loves that Leoric, and especially here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, where he gets that wave clear. If you ever get into a fight where you just can't win, you can pull away. Now, JPL, staying with this tried and true tradition, ETC and Muradin these first couple of games, he's an absolute beast in that hero, and that allows for Bakery to focus on his backline. Li Ming, maybe even Zelia if he gets to go that aggression, and really just keep them alive.
All right, so what are they going to ban out? What were they fearful maybe of last game? Maybe they were expecting more warriors. So say, for example, they want a warrior that, you know, isn't common. They might try and ban something like that out and then choose something for themselves in a moment.
Well, Leoric's great here, too. I like you mentioning Leoric. I feel like Misfits would love to go for that hero. First off, he's decent against Muradin. You get that Drain Hope. Suddenly you can stay on the front line and keep up with everyone while also keeping Muradin from using Avatar when that phase is happening. Zarya is banned out here. And again, we talked about the strengths of Zarya.
She's strong, yeah. That's kind of why it came up.
Quite powerful, man. That explosion zone, especially on this battleground.
Yes.
Very helpful when you stop someone from going for the turn-in. You get your poke also with the Q. So wonderful ban in here from Misfits.
Tyrael's not a stranger to this map either, for similar reasons. You know, not only is Expulsion Zone strong, but Holy Ground later on to a certain extent is strong, as well as, you know, just a little bit of extra sustain at the front with those shields, etc., which Misfits is no stranger to.
What I like about Misfits draft here, with Tassadar and Ragnaros just being the first and second pick, there's no clear path of where they're going, so you don't think a Rhaegar ban would be beneficial right now. Because if they went into auto attacks later, a Rhaegar with Bloodlust suddenly works, but that isn't something that's automatically telegraphed here with their picks. Dignitas elects to go away from the true combo of Tassadar and Tracer, so they get that ban, just get out of the way. There's that Leoric you were talking about.
It makes me think now if their final support is going to be Auriel for the Valor trifecta, but it's seen a lot less now. Obviously, well, it was seen a lot less before anyway because it doesn't have cleanse, but Valor could be complemented quite nicely by it. It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I think they want to see who the 4th and 5th pick here before they go that route.
Yeah.
Do they need cleanse right away? If they need cleanse, Rhaegar might be a better choice. He also keeps the heals. He has 2 amazing heroics that can work in any scenario. If you want to keep an eye on your Leoric, you can go Ancestor Healing. If you want Vala to just go ham mode, drop out the Bloodlust, right? So I like them just leaving the 5th pick here for the support, and Splendor being able to play both those heroes is a great benefit to them.
And it kind of, there's synergy between how Team Dignitas banned Tychus, Leoric being picked up on the other side, and Team Dignitas banning Tychus because they probably want a heavier front line. Leoric is that anti-tank warrior. He is that guy that will drain Hope. It's normally a complete drain Hope build on Leorics at the moment, so yeah, it could be strong.
Yeah, well, there goes Thrall, and there goes Falstad. So Thrall being brought in here, he'll be able to handle that bottom lane well. Falstad again with the Mighty Gusts to really put them in a scenario that if they're just not quite winning the team fight, they can start knocking people around and getting them out of the fight. I think really that Leoric pick changed that draft so much.
Definitely. Yeah.
You were talking about it a little bit. Johanna suddenly just off the table completely, and she's a strong hero on this map because of her wave clear, gets decent engage, and she has a hard time flanking, but with the lanes being so close, suddenly flanks become available. But moving into Thrall and Falstad now gives the entire team here to get an engage with that Earthquake, but also keep people away with Falstad's Mighty Gust.
Yeah.
The draft here rounds out very nice for Dignitas.
And here comes the swap phase, so everybody will get allocated their heroes that they're going to play. Obviously choose their skins as well. Little Ragnaros is a good choice.
Little Ragnaros is the best. You win the game when you pick that skin. Let's be real.
But I've got to agree with you what you were saying about the Leoric changing the draft. I feel that this Thrall could have quite easily been something a bit more bulkier, and Thrall is the compensation choice behind all of that. It's like, we want something strong at the front line, but we don't want it to have a lot of health.
Yeah.
So let's go Thrall.
Yeah, because Thrall is interchangeable there, right? You could have had a warrior and kept Falstad bottom. Falstad does fine in that lane. He won't win it, but he'll definitely hold it. He'll be able to fly back in. Instead, they realize, okay, let's just hold the bottom lane and make sure our farming rotation is good to go. So overall, Dignitas, I think they rounded out their roster completely nicely here. Really, the main thing we have to focus on for Misfits is how Vala does. You have Tassadar there, their power. You have Rhaegar to back him up as well. And how they utilize Vala to win those team fights, especially when you get to the mid to late game, is going to be key to victory.
Yeah. Looking at how these two have stacked up with the rosters, etc., I'm still a little bit scared for Dignitas. I think that Misfits has got a really good and comfortable comp available to them.
All right, well, keep letting us know on Twitter. Use HGC. The draft is ready. We're ready to go into the game. Let's start it all up. Game number 2.
All right, Tomb of the Spider Queen. As we do, wow, calm down, fellas. Over to the left-hand side is Team Dignitas with Bakery on Malfurion. We have Zalia playing Thrall, Snitch on Falstad, Mene playing Li Meng, and finally JPL rounding it out on Muradin.
And on the right side, wearing the red trunks, we have Nurok on Ragnaros, we have Blumby on Leoric, we have Darkmok, we have Hostawabs, and in the bottom right, we have Splendor playing the wonderful Rhaegar, the Gladiator, with the wonderful doggy skin.
Fun stuff. So here's the little change up that happens here in Misfits. It's that normally you would see Darkmok on almost all melee assassins, sometimes even Artanis, etc. But he is actually one of their more healthier Valor players.
Yeah.
So that swap out of Darkmok going on towards Valor and then Nurok actually taking up the Ragnaros mantle is a little bit of a change up that they are very used to.
Yeah, I'm actually very happy to see this. We were talking about it in between the break.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, Darkmok being this mechanical assassin god, right? He absolutely destroys and gets in fights. And it seems like in the last game, he was kind of reserved to, hey, hit R and kill people. But this game, we get to see his mechanics be on full display here. Darkmok bolting straight in, bringing the damage on Snitch. And overall, just looking at the comp here for Dignitas, they're going to be a bit more passive on holding these lanes here. They want to soak the experience, move towards 10, but also just make sure to deny turn-ins. That's their main goal.
All right, so let's see if this is going to work out. Nurok going to be the solo laner, and attempt on towards him. Good juke against that Stormbolt will not be locked down entirely. Because if you are against that trio of Muradin, Thrall, and Malfurion, you're dead right there.
Yeah, I got to agree. And I hope JPL is having his shoes tied there, because that juke was insane. He definitely fell out of his shoes if they were not. Here in the middle lane, Blumby keeping up with the rotation. Tassadar also great to supplement that. Drop the Side Storm and you're good to go. You're going to see Hostawabs consistently hugging Darkmok, just keeping those shields available, especially when you get towards level 4 and level 7.
I wonder if we're going to see level 4 from Darkmok, Creed of the Hunter. It's
Mene?
because, oh, Mene goes down as first blood. Uncharacteristic step out of line there for Mene.
Yeah, the Ragnaros rotation was was nearly perfect. We saw Nurok in the bottom lane just pushing the lane, so they had no vision on him, and immediately he just mounted and moved to the middle lane, caught Mayday out of position, finished off the kill with that massive hammer, and from here they're going to start getting turret damage, which is perfect on this map. The more turret damage you get in the early game, when you get a turn in around level 7 or even level 9, when you're moving towards that level 10, you could suddenly get forts.
And Leoric's not too bad actually dealing with the top and middle lane. He will miss a few. Skeletal Swing doesn't clear things quite as fast, but for the compensation play of getting tower experience down towards the bottom, it is fine here at the moment, as Jay has to just move away from that middle location.
Keeping an eye on Falstad, he'll be using those stacks, so we'll keep an eye on those stacks and how they're doing it later on in the game, let you guys know. Here comes Blumby again, just pushing in that top lane. You see how Snitch is just trying his best to hold on the lane. Hasawab's getting a slight turn in here, and this is actually the real appeal of Misfits comp right now, because they have so much wave clear, they can just drop off these small deposits consistently, and it's going to be really hard for Dignitas to make sure to come in and delay that, because if they do, they have some pick-off potential, as we saw earlier with Mayday.
Jay in a bit of trouble. We'll get rooted there, will Splendor, so he can't continue on the chase with his friends, but looks like Darmok's gone for punishment level 4, so not going for Creed of the Hunter. Makes me think that they do want to be exerting a lot of pressure early on, and maybe thinking that this match is not going to go on for the very, very long haul. It's an ambitious play to go for that level 4 talent sometimes anyway.
That it is. And have you noticed, I feel like when I watch this Battleground, most of the rotations are between the middle and the top lane, with the occasional rotation in the bottom lane to get a pick off in the solo laner. However, it feels like Misfits is targeting Zayla a little bit. They're consistently coming down here. Ragnaros drops his Q on the minion wave, and then everyone shows up to get turret damage. It feels like more of a double whammy of one, focusing the solo laner, but just trying to pick off of what could potentially be the weak link for Dignitas.
Yeah, definitely could be. There's always the potential in a solo lane to overextend just slightly. And when there's kind of lockdown potential on your side as well, it can cause all sorts of damage. Thankfully for Xaylia, there's not too much lockdown potential, but look at this. The attempt on towards Nurok. Will he dodge? Doesn't even try, does JPL. He realizes it's too easy for him to get away.
That's a really hard gank to pull off. It's one that if you land that Stormbolt, easy money, right? You get those kills taken right away, but JPL just reading the situation so well. I love how Dignitas just has Xaylia's back here. They realize rotation continually happens bottom lane, so they're starting to put themselves in a scenario where they have 3 floating around the area so they can help out. I love the rotation from these teams and the slight mind games. It's almost like a crazy game of chess here in the bottom lane.
They know they have to protect. That's the great thing. Both of these teams are so good that, well, Nurok's going to take a little bit of pressure. Don't think he'll die here, though. No chance there, as Blumby is going to come in and try and slow down Xaylia for a moment. He takes some damage. Jay can jump away.
Heavily favorable in terms of trades there for Misfits, and they drop in the turn-in. Now, this is slightly early, but with their wave clear, again, they could potentially get a fort in the bottom lane, especially with that search being low. Look in the middle lane. There's no ammo.
Yeah, and one thing that is good about all of those rotations from lane to lane is that you're kind of pseudo-controlling the turning points without actually even needing to pay attention to them. So that's why we saw Misfits getting this straight turn-in, with Dignitas having not much effort put towards denying.
Gotta agree with you, and here we are. The Web Weaver's now in the top, middle, and bottom lane. The middle lane is getting a hefty amount of pressure here from Lumby and Splendor. Nurok shows up as well, and all 5 members are taking out the turrets. Yeah,
scary stuff. Now, you absolutely don't want this fort to fall for Dignitas, because Ragnaros is on the other side. And if you're sat around the area at that point, it can get very, very sticky. But it's going to fall very fast, and then Dignitas has to absolutely back away from this area. You can see them already.
Yeah.
They're a little bit scared of that position.
The moment that fort went down to a quarter health, you saw them all just kind of spread out and get into a rotation, as you were mentioning. Ragnaros is just such a threat. And you saw Nurok, man. He was sitting right next to that fort saying, I dare you. Step up. Let's go, guys. So fort taken out right away. The top lane was dealt with nicely by Snitch, and the bottom lane was dealt well by Xaylia and the Thrall. So in terms of the game right now, there is a turn-in available for Dignitas, but they would have to do it within the next 15, 20 seconds to even be impactful. If not, they have to hold on their coins, weather the storm when level 10 is hit for Misfits, and then try to get a turn-in.
The one difference that we're seeing here between Darkmox Ragnaros and, of course, Neurox is that catching fire has been taken at level 4. Makes him a little bit more vulnerable to Li Ming and things like that later on. But at the same time, it will give him all-around strength against the entire team as opposed to just like one or the other.
Slight variation there. And just talking about talents, I like the Healing Ward as well. The Healing Ward you throw in the back of the entire fight, and that allows Rhaegar and Tassadar just to sit in the front line and babysit Vala all day, every day. And if they have to retreat, they can move into the Healing Ward and get their own healing without having to waste those cooldowns. So nice pickup there by Splendor on the Rhaegar.
Got to agree. Got to agree. And level 10's hit. So if you're a Smash Ancestral Heal, we have Entomb, Force Wall, And finally, I'm normally expecting Rain of Vengeance to be the choice here, just for a bit of lockdown, which they kind of lack in that instance. They have movement denial tools in the wall and the entomb, but stuns are always lovely. Stuns are lovely.
Yeah, I think the choice here is you go for Rain of Vengeance to keep Muradin off of you, but also you get the lockdown when Thrall goes for Earthquake. Whenever Thrall busts out the Earthquake, one of the best ways to deal with it is to burst him down immediately. Rain of Vengeance helps with that, as he won't be able to get his Frostwolf procs off.
Yeah.
However, Strafe can work here if Vala doesn't go Wave of Force and knocks her away.
Very true.
So we can see how it goes.
Yeah, very, very true. And that level 10 earlier for Misfits means second turn in for free. Strafe is going to be the pickup here for Valor. So for now, there could be big damage being done. Earthquake, Twilight Dream, we have Mighty Gust, Wave of Force, and finally Avatar being enabled for Dignitas.
I like how Mane waited to pick his heroic until he saw exactly what Vala got. Getting the Wave of Force just gives him the potential to get Vala out of the fight when she pops that straight. So here we go. Fort's being sieged away. JPL trying to hang out with Wumby a tad bit here, but just can't keep up with that Drain Hope. At the same time, falls out in the top lane. Can fly in at any point and bring the Mighty Gust, but Misfits, knowing that they have the advantage, is pressing it, and they are pressing it hard. Ooh, a decent root there, catching 2 people. Sadly, unfortunately, there is no quite follow-up, but it does slow down the rotation, so Dignitas can get in position.
Misfits feels relaxed, and they feel in control. You could see, even just from them, like, there's roots here, we don't care if we're going to get caught. We're like, we'll just walk on through. We have established a barricade at the front of your base, and you're not going anywhere. JPL is going to have to jump away. If there was Rain of Vengeance there, maybe that could have caused some problems, but nope, not available, not even in the game, of course, with that strafe. And then just back off. Just walk away until you've got 13.
Yeah, this is a major win. Getting the keep turrets down sets up a situation where you can get a floor or a keep later on and go for a potential win in a later game. However, JPL and Dignitas decides they want to go for an engage. Nice sidestep there by JPL. There will be the Entomb, but the Mighty Gust knocks everyone from Misfits away.
During that fight, look how healthy Misfits are. They've lost no health. They've tricks. They've lost no health. They just have such a good control over this double support play with the Leoric at the front that is soaking up quite a bit of damage. They don't want to have to push damage into Leoric, but unfortunately they have to. And the shields are just taking so much of it. Yeah,
that it is. And it's very scary for Dignitas. Now, they did trade out some major heroics, so that kind of works out. So Thrall, if he does get engaged, can drop that Earthquake, and suddenly we're in a scenario where a fight does work out for Dignitas. But you can see them kind of dancing around. Zeli has to get an insane flank here for it to be effective against the spreading out of Misfits.
The longer this goes on, the riskier and riskier it is for Team Dignitas. They have 77 gems available right now. If anyone dies, that's a lot gone. Leoric is actually taking some damage. Wraith walks out, and actually Ancestral Healing was popped on him at half health there, just to make sure that they're going to be in a good position to push this away. They don't need to win the fight to Misfits, they just need to push Dignitas away.
And they do just that. This Fort suddenly in half health is in trouble. Snitch forced to run away from the fight, and Nurok is going to be dropping off a few gems while the rest of its team is starting to group up in the top lane and get pressure on the Fort. Another one falls, 13-12. Misfits seems like they are on cruise control. Yep. You mentioned relax, but they are currently just going 65 miles an hour, and they're not going underneath or above it.
Super comfortable is this Misfits that we're seeing here in our first series of HGC Europe as Dignitas. They have to get the consolidation prize. Unfortunately, they're going to their hard camp, allowing that to push out through the middle. But slowly, Misfits will gather some gem. Are they going? They're going boss.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
You have Oracle, you have Ragnaros and Fear Smash, you have Entomb to keep people out of the fight, you have Force Wall as well. In terms of tools, they have everything here to take the boss. They focus it down, Ballard is working in that damage, and from here, boss is going to go to them. But this does open up the opportunity to turn in.
Yeah.
And Dignitas does it.
Yeah, precisely. So that will kind of equal out top lane to a certain degree. I thought that maybe the boss could threaten keep, but it's very unlikely now that with the Web Weavers there. This is an opportunity, I feel, for Dignitas to try and claw themselves back in, but I don't know if Misfits is going to allow those Web Weavers to do much damage at all.
Yeah, that's the main play there. You get the boss, you just get pressure on the keep wall there, so you get a couple of turrets down, but it gives you free defense on the Web Weavers. So effectively, you take all these gems that Dignitas has just been hoarding, and you negate it. What do you lose? A couple of turrets on the fort walls? That's nothing for Misfits. They love that trade. You'll take it all day, every day.
Yeah, it's a very good play here. Very good play indeed. They knew that the boss couldn't be rivaled because it was 13 against 12. I mean, it could attempt to be, especially with Mighty Gust, but in that little choke area, you would ideally want to Gust from the back wall, and then you're forced that in the back wall.
Yeah.
You know?
Kind of an awkward scenario. If this doesn't work out, we lose the game, right?
It's like, Snitch is, what am I doing here? Don't want to be here.
Well, Misfits just trying to get to level 16 here. They're a little bit of 3/4 away from the area. JPL once again taking damage from Drain Hope. There goes the Entomb. JPL will jump away and jump on Dark Mach. That is the main focus. Sulfurous Smash clashes with Snitch, though. There will be the Ancestral Healing hitting Dark Mach, and now he can chase here. Force Wall does go off. Can Dark Mach keep up with the chase? He cannot, but the health bars, once again, the story. Every time a fight occurs in this matchup, Dignitas walks away licking their wounds.
Yeah, unless Dignitas blows someone up early on in a team fight, I feel that every single one is going to go that way. They cannot out-sustain the position. It's not only the fact that there's shields there from Tassadar and then the healing from Rehgar, it's that Ragnaros is healing himself up constantly. It's that Leoric is healing himself up constantly. So they need to find a pinpoint moment to blow somebody up in these team fights as Dignitas.
Yeah, and unfortunately the moment is going over to Misfits right now. They're about to hit level 16. Their main goal here is to get the waves pushed out and try to get 1 keep. They have the potential to maybe get 2 if they get some pressure on the top lane and Dignitas doesn't hold it well, but Dignitas is doing a great defense right now. They see everyone in the bottom and mid lane, so they move to the top, they get their wave pushing out and start getting that web weaver slowed down, which allows for them to get into a better defensive position overall.
Yeah, and we'll at least kill off this web weaver relatively quickly, get some good damage on towards it, but that wall is annoying. So is that in team one towards JPL, and Xaylia at the front here. Xaylia in a lot of trouble, but will back off. And was he channeling Molten Core there for a moment, or did it not? I think he didn't. Never mind.
All right, web weaver's hitting the middle. Top lane taking pressure as well. They get a keep wall, which is always a great trade here. But the major story is that currently in the top lane, now web weaver is in full health, and Tassadar is ferrying it forward here, straight towards the keep, 16-14. And you mentioned Molten Core, it's still up. If this keep goes down, you have a win condition. Yeah. Misfits can take the core.
Yeah, it's got to be scary here now, as they've got to make some kind of play happen, but they're not 16. Going to throw in a Hammerang there, try and do some damage. Dark Mach just poking away. Jay moving forwards. Tense moments here. That web blast will do quite a bit of damage to that keep. It's dead now, so they don't want to overextend too much. They will just back away for a moment.
Nurok is the main thing here. You see no real major hard engagement yet because they're waiting for Sulfurous Smash. The Mighty Gauss does go off. JPL diving in, gets a stun on Ragnaros. Ragnaros low on HP. Xaylia trying to stay alive, but he gets eliminated. But they trade out Vala, which is the main catalyst here for this entire team composition. JPL sees the moment. He targets, fires Leoric. Leoric gets taken out. Mayday trying to follow up, but sadly not enough mana. But Snitches is looking for more.
Yeah, trading the melee for the range damage dealer there was good for Dignitas. Obviously, that Ragnaros isn't going to be wanting to jump in towards that keep and start doing his melee swings. He was just poking with his meteor there for a little while. So a slight win for Dignitas to alleviate some of the pressure.
Especially because they held both their keeps. Granted, they're weak right now. The keep in the top left is good, but you don't have that catapult pressure, which allows for them to use the defensive plays they want to use. 16-17 is now great for Dignitas. You see them trying to find a hole here to get into an engagement, but Blumby about to come back here from death.
All right, so let's see. Nurok just trying to poke away at the front, shield him up, keep him healthy. And during all of this, one thing that's been noticeable is that players like Nurok on the side of Misfits have been good about their mana conservation. Not using skills when he doesn't really need to. He's not really backed too many times either. He's just been well at the front, always ready and prepared to actually go for these fights.
Mayday getting strafed. There's Entomb, and Mayday taken out. 4-5 right now in terms of team fight for Misfits, and you know they are taking this opportunity to push that top lane. Go get the keep. Sulfurous Smash will miss. JPL gets away. He has to get away, by the way. He has 55 gems out of the 114 Dig has.
Yeah, I was scared that Earthgrasp toting him to maybe Force Wall there was going to cause some problems for Jay, but he manages to get out. It's going to be an easy boss here by the looks of things for Misfits. Maybe this gives them an opportunity to turn in Web Weavers again, but I don't even know if Web Weavers would get a 4 in this instance.
Yeah, I think the major thing here to do is you actually grab that boss, and then you go defend bottom lane and maybe start pressuring the keep there. Misfits is such a lead right now in terms of infrastructure. They have their 3 force, 3 keeps, their core. Just putting their throat or their foot on the throat of Misfits or Dignitas would be amazing right now, right? You just get to keep in the top lane. You push it to right about here, and then you let it go because you know that boss is going to get it. I don't think they're going to go for a core kill in any way, shape, or form. Just get the keep, pull back, work towards level 20.
Molten Core could be a big deal here. They know it as well. They're going to Gust, try and keep them away from this position. Entomb on towards Xaylia. He's stuck in there for a little while. He tries to drop the Earthquake, making sure that they can't advance onto him too easily. Force Wall goes down, and they're not going to go with it. That was good denial and delay tactics from Dignitas.
Yeah, I really like the solid look there from JPL as well. He didn't really use the Stormbolt too early. He's just watching Ragnaros the entire time. You want to make sure you stop that channel because you don't want the Molten Core to come out, as you were mentioning, because you could win there. But a 4 is finally taking out the first fort for Dignitas. They also took the fort in the bottom lane well. Yeah. So now we're starting to get these comebacks going. And remember, they have another turn-in as well. With Leoric not being available, they could pull back after these Web Weavers get extinguished and make a play to move towards level 20 and get another turn-in.
One kill beyond Leoric for Dignitas could turn things around quite heavily. You get a sizable amount of experience for that for Dignitas to then try and catch up in the race to 20. And then from that point on, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Once again, you know, we saw Dignitas in game 1 come back from a relatively sizable lead from Misfits, and still lose, of course, but that could easily happen here as well.
All right, well, it's time for Dignitas to either make a play or sit in the backseat for a little bit. They're trying to move towards level 20 as Misfits is almost there. They cleared, what, 2 more waves, and they are good to go on 20, and Misfits will be looking for a fight right away. Dignitas decides to go ahead and elect to play the passive game here. They'll poke. They'll try and slow down the turn-in. Any seconds they buy here is very impactful for them.
It's just playing it slowly at the moment, unfortunately, for Dignitas now, as there's no way they can ever breach that position. And that's Farflight Quiver coming in there for Valor, so she'll be shooting from the other side of the map, which is always nice.
All right, same time, cat upper pressure on the top lane. 19.5 here for Dignitas. The turn-in being dropped in here for Misfits. They are a little bit late in terms of being able to actually unlock the Web Weavers. They need a few more of those gems to come their way. Blumby, though, just keeping up the pressure here, keeping JP away from the few gems they have from being turned in.
One thing that is standout to me at the moment is that Dignitas absolutely does not want to go down in this best of 5 2-0. This is normally one of their go-to maps, hence why they've actually gone here. And then, obviously, if they do drop down 2 games against a team like Misfits, I see it extremely, extremely hard for them to come back 3 games in a row, considering the performance we've seen so far from the Misfit boys. It's looking like Miami Heat all the way at the moment, Rick.
Yeah, you have to have a real mental fortitude in a situation like that to be able to make the comeback occur.
Yeah.
And it could be something that pushes the smallest things that kind of hurt your team to big gaping wounds, right? So
yes.
I agree with you. Dignitas would love to score a win here, and they're keeping up with the poke here, but finally, overall, Splendor will secure the Web Weaver turn-in, and this is where life gets hard for Dignitas.
Oh yeah, I think they need to force a fight somewhere. At level 20, what do you think about their Storm Talents coming in? They've got a lot of power behind them in Dignitas, right?
Yeah, they do. They have the Bolt Twilight Dream from Malfurion. It's going to be helpful if they ever get an isolation on Ragnaros in particular.
Nice.
Blumby does get picked off. Nice fly in there from Snitch, so him getting Epic Mount is going to be great for those isolated pickoffs, because Blumby the entire time has been relatively aggressive on the character, right? He's been dropping in. He knows that he can die, but now with being level 20 and you can consistently fly in, that can be the window to come back.
Misfits losing Leoric there while the Web Weavers descend. Now they know that they really can't do much with that turn-in. They do not have a front line at all, now that he has his level 20 Storm Talent with the leeching, Spectral Leech, I should say. Super, super powerful on Leoric, but no good if he's dead. So
not so good in a 5v1.
No, so you've got to kind of just reassess your position here as Misfits. They would love this keep. Yeah. Now that Leoric's back up though.
They guide here. They put down the Healing Ward to be the anchor for this push and really just trying to secure the keep overall. If they get an isolation, great, but just, again, having 2 waves of catapults is monumental for them. Nurok goes in for the Molten Core. He will hit a solid Q there. Some nice damage overall. Xaylia is isolated in the top right corner.
He's going to be vulnerable. He actually tried to Sulfura Smash Bakery, but he went to Ice Spot very quickly. Submerge on towards Nurok. He actually takes some damage off towards Stitch and Mane there, but better moving back. That's going to be Ragnaros falling. This is a good opportunity here for Dignitas to try and make something happen. You can see it. JPL jumping forward, looking for pressure on towards Splendor, gets the stun, gets the kill on towards Rhaegar.
Mane getting the reset. Hasselhoff's in trouble on the right side as well. JP Alpha looking for more here. He could jump on top of Vala. Blumby in the bottom left in trouble. Will be able to slow down the duration, but JPL's not done. There goes the Q from Mane. Here comes Snitch flying in. Darkmuck goes down. Hasselhoff, the only one left. Mane trying to get in there. Dimensional shift goes off.
Dig might try and finish from here. They look to actually push on towards this keep at bottom. There's 55 seconds before Valet is up. That's a lot of the chunk of damage that's available to them. So they're going to push on here. It's only Hasu and only Tassadar to delay against this. This could be it.
It could be it. 27 seconds here before Blumby comes back. We also have Rhaegar too, and Splendor will be up soon at the same time. 13 seconds, 10 seconds for Ragnaros. They're going for the keep, and yes, they want to move straight for the core.
Here we
Here's
go.
Snitch starting to bring the damage in. Starts with the hammering. The auto attacks continuing. Zelia popping Wind Fury on Thrall, bringing it down. Can they break the core? Can they tie the series 1-1? Here's Ragnaros. Will he hit anything? The Mighty Gust goes off. Hasselhoff in the back left.
And he's looking to put on pressure on towards JPL. He's very, very low there as well. Splendor comes out. He actually gets stunned there for the moment. This core is getting quite low here. Snitch trying to do damage. No, is this actually going to be saved? I can't believe it. Bakery is going to actually move on back here. 20% core. They get wiped. Oh my God. Misfits is going to save this situation.
Hasselhoff's not dying there was just enough. He was able to get out 2 shields, one on the keep and one on the core there. With Mane not able to secure that kill, help them stay alive. The force wall delay taxes was just enough. Misfits grouping up, pushing down the bottom lane, and they will go up 2-0 in the series, especially here with the catapults pushing.
What a way to finish the second game. Back and forth. Dignitas looked for their one opportunity, their one window. It wasn't quite 1%, but 20% will do trick.
Yeah.
That was, wow. They almost got it.
And you're right, that was their one chance at winning this game, right?
Yes.
You gotta take the shot when it's given to you. Maybe chasing Tassadar may have been hurtful, but I can also see if you take out Tassadar, you win that entire series, right? So